Hi traders, MJ Givens here, your mentor, your president, and your coach. I hope I found you well. Listen, I have a quick update. The Top Trader South Africa Trading Challenge is being postponed to the 5th of May, right? So we're going to be starting from the 5th of May to the 11th of May 2025, and we're going to be streaming it daily, right? From the 5th to the 11th, and I'll be doing the live streaming myself. I'll be hosting it with my good friend Ngobile Tembani. So if you have not signed up as yet, please, there is a link down below. Sign up using the Telegram bot and confirm your deposit using the very same Telegram bot so that you can be part and parcel of the competition. Right now, I did a interview with CNBC Africa, and a lot of people have been asking me, Mr. President, we want to see that interview. We want to have a say about it. We don't know what you spoke about and all. Then I was like, okay, fine. My team and I, we're going to work on something and we're going to upload it for you guys here. So this is an interview that I had. I just want to play it for you guys. See how you can diversify your portfolio, how you can take advantage of the volatile markets that we are seeing right now. We've been seeing Donald Trump, obviously he's being himself, right? He's being saying to Jay Powell that, look, my friend, if you are not doing what I want you to do, we might have some problems, right? So we've been just trying to dissect the whole situation, and given how volatile the markets are, obviously traders like me and you always want to take advantage and diversify portfolio. So just have a look and see how you can extend your investment. But please, again, this is not a financial advice, right? So see how you can take advantage and take it from there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Expectations. Let's unpack global movements much more in detail as we are joined by Givens Khasi, financial analyst at Octa. Givens, thank you so much for joining us for the day. Interesting moves that we are seeing in the market today on the back of Trump, his announcement on China tariffs, as well as his rescinding of the statements he's made around the Fed. Your thoughts on how the market has reacted or is reacting to this?
Well, thank you so much for having me, and afternoon to the viewers. Well, I think this has to do with political uncertainty. We have seen that the global markets are merely experiencing a significant volatility, primarily because of the driven political development in the U.S., as you have clearly said, what we see with the U.S. and China, trade war. And we've seen that the S&P 500 has declined by 16% or so from its February peak, reflecting again investor concerns over political interferences with the Federal Reserve, and that also escalate trade tensions, right? So, however, we have seen that the recent reassurances from Trump himself regarding the Fed's independence have led to the market rebound, with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite rising by 2.5 to 2.7% respectively. But look, we take nothing away from the volatility that is being given lately. We have seen that with the volatility, one may see it as danger and one can see it as an opportunity to capitalize. But in a nutshell, I think we are also seeing that commodities have also did quite well. We saw that gold prices surged from a record high of 3,500 an ounce amid economic uncertainties again. But we have seen gold retracing back around 3,300 following Trump's softened stance on the Fed and the trade tariffs. But I think 3,500 an ounce was just a psychological level. Hedge funds and money managers will continue to add their net long positions, and I think they kept their psychological price level at 3,500, and I think that's merely a profit trade taking, and that's why we see a rebound at 3,500.
And so it's definitely going to be one to watch over the next couple of days to see how gold continues to rebound. Let's come home. I think the good news story for today is Capitec. They've been on quite a strategic mission for the last couple of years. Your thoughts on these financial results? The market has loved it, and it's growing quite a bit. What are your thoughts on them?
I think this was a strategic growth from Capitec. They've reported around 30% increase in annual profit, and that is reaching around 13 billion or so, right? And that is driven merely by the growth in the net interest income and digital services. And look, the bank serves around 24 million clients. And I mean, I think that is remarkable. I mean, that represents half of the South African adult population, if you think of it. So I think Capitec plans to expand its offerings with new credit products like your secured loan, and they continue to invest in digital banking solutions And I think it's quite interesting to see them at least now expanding their offerings, because that is being merely a frustration from their consumers to say, we need new product line. We want to extend and give you all businesses from within, from a banking, home loan, vehicle finance, you name it. But it's interesting to see that their offerings have expanded, and they're investing mainly much in digital banking solutions. So yeah, 30% increase in annual profit, very much a strategic growth.
And I think strategies are going to be important now in relation to where we see inflation as well. The inflation data came out earlier today around about 10 o'clock this morning, and we do see that the rate fell for the first time in about 5 months in March, and that was since June of 2020 we see this drop. What does this mean for the market? What are we going to see dropping, and then, what should we then hopefully see as a trend in the next 3 months, if you could look at it that way, or longer?
Well, I think, Zanele, for me, this is a welcome decline. I think South Africa's consumer inflation, as much as it fell around 2.7 on year to year in March, down from 3.2% in February, I think it's making it the lowest level nearly in 5 years. And this decline brings inflation below the South African Reserve Bank target, around 3% to 6%. And this potentially opens a door for interest rate cuts. And I think that's what we might be seeing in the next season to come, to stimulate that economic growth, because that's what we need as a nation in South Africa. And I think after that, we saw the rand has showed strength in early trading, reflecting positive investor sentiment. But let's not take anything away from the weakness. I think the rand is also taking advantage of the weakness that we've been seeing from the rand. But it's being a volatile market, it's being interesting, and a lot of opportunities are being produced out there. I think we have seen that even exotic pairs, they are not excluded from a day-to-day trading, right? So I think it is important for us to focus on the economic growth and see if that rand can maintain 18 rand 50 to possibly maybe go down to 17 rand in the future. That's something maybe we might see, but it's just a matter of time. But at this point, I think what the markets have shown when it comes to the ZAR is merely reflecting on positive investor sentiments.
And reflecting back on that and so much else that's happened, and the moves that South Africa is making from a G20 point of view and locally politically, how do you tie that in with IMF's position to slash the South African global growth forecasts for South Africa?
Well, it's quite interesting to see that the IMF at this point, I mean, globally, we have seen that the forecast for it for 2025, the growth forecast for 2025 is around 2.8%, if I'm not mistaken. And I think that is citing escalating trade tensions and political uncertainties, particularly following the U.S. announcement on the widespread tariffs, right? So I think the IMF warns that these factors could further hinder economic activity and exacerbate downside risk. But I think, again, it's important to note that locally we have seen that the IMF projects South Africa's real GDP growth at around 1% for 2025. And that is reflecting, again, the ongoing structural changes and the global economic headwinds. But I think there are key drivers that will drive this. I think if you look at the persistent issues we are having locally with electricity supply, you look at logistics, they continue to hinder economic performance. And when you look at the global trade as well, the tensions we are finding ourselves in the global stage, we are seeing that this escalating trade disputes, particularly involving major economic and the global demand, that is affecting the South African export-driven sectors. And I think the uncertainty in policy implements, again, the whole regulatory environment has led to cautious investor sentiment, limiting capital inflows. But I think for now, it's only a matter of time, because we have seen that if you look at the inflation outlook, we've seen that the consumer price inflation is projected at least 3.8% for 2025. That, again, is aligning with the South African Reserve Bank target for 3% to 6%.
So now, reflecting on the market itself, how do we see this? Because whilst you said that there might be measures to counter the tariffs, surely not enough to be responsive on time for the market. So how do we see the market navigating this period, up until we let the tariffs settle and then we let the countermeasures come into place? What is an investor and what is the runway? How long are they looking at managing, and what do they need to manage from an investor perspective?
I think at this point, we just have to adopt the wait and see approach. And I've been saying this for the longest time because, like I said earlier on, for you to see a major pair like the euro dollar just before the London session up by 1% to 2%, that's something that we've never seen in a long time. But again, that is indicating the volatility that comes with this market. Right, on that note, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we're going to try by all means to give you the best that we can. We are going to go out there, gather as much information as possible. As you know, that this channel is not only about me uploading videos, but it's all about me educating you as much as you are educating me. We learn a lot from one another. So yeah, if there's something that you want me to cover on the next episode, please let me know in the comment section, and let's engage and keep it respectful, guys, because this channel is all about growth, the spirit of excellence, and ensuring that we move with the pace that is required for us to push. Right, we don't want to be under pressure with anything of this life. We know that being a trader is being a business person, is being an entrepreneur, and obviously it takes one to understand the process to grow from one place to the other. So for that, I salute you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.